Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit Trick, the 1999 cult classic starring Tori Spelling, Christian Campbell, Coco Peru, and the hot stripper whose name escapes me in this moment. So, grab your Subway token and have a seat.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. We're doing a bit of an experiment. We are socially distancing together doing this podcast. We are projecting our voices a little bit, keeping our distance.
Keeping far away.
It's a bit of an experiment. So we're going to see how it goes. I was truly in the neighborhood and we said, should we try this? I did one of those drive-by birthdays
which is always fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The new
It's so bizarre. And not for nothing, it's truly 53 minutes from like a car ride. But it was my niece, and I felt compelled.
Yeah, you kind of have to do that.
Kind of have to.
Yeah.
I only felt bad when I saw certain cars pulling over and throwing gifts out of the window.
Oh my gosh. I know. Isn't it funny? I've done a couple of them myself, and we at the very beginning, it was like really right at the very beginning of it. It was the first one we did, and we ended up bringing just a roll of toilet paper.
Oh.
Because that was like the big joke.
The big hot item.
But other than that, we really haven't. We've made sign. We'll make a sign or something, but we don't really send gifts.
No, I know. It's weird. It's just also weird. But you know what?
So
it's part of what life looks like for now, and we hope everyone's staying safe out there. And so, Trick. Now, I have to be honest. A lot of people listening might not know what this movie even exists. It's available on iTunes, and there's also an app called Likewise. It's an app, and you can enter any movie, and it will show you what it's available on. But
and I think I watched it on Prime.
Did you? Would you bought it?
Or maybe Vudu. I might have done Vudu.
I think you did Vudu. I actually
don't have access to libraries anymore.
No, I know.
There goes my.
But I bought it, so you can either rent it for like $3.99 or buy it for $7.99. I'm like, I want to buy it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not giving anything away, but it's a movie that we both really loved back then, but we haven't seen it because it's really not available. And it's one of those movies that you had to. I guess I'll start in 1999, like to see a gay, and it's such a sign of the times, to see a movie with gay characters. This was not shown anywhere. I think it was shown. I mean, this was shown in Boston. I went to Boston. I saw this movie 3 times. I think I went with you, Tracy, and then this is separate times. Then Shiva. I think all separate times. Maybe Carrie too. I can't remember. Carrie will remind me. Carrie has a great memory. Yeah. But because it was so unique to see a cute gay rom-com, it's not mainstream, and it'd be maybe more accepted now than then. But 99, weirdly enough, it was not a widely released movie for that subject matter.
And I don't know about you, but I didn't know anybody in it except for Tori Spelling.
Yep.
And is it an independent film?
Yes.
Because it has that independent film feel to it. But I was just thinking, isn't this funny? I think is this one of the first movies that we've revisited that we watched it together for the first time?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Really funny. I didn't think about that.
That's really funny. And we should also mention we're actually revisiting this because June is Pride Month. Yeah. So we wanted to throw this out there as a little homage.
Yeah, so any young gay guys, gay gals that are not familiar with this movie, dig it up. It is so worth it. It is it's R, but it's a cute, romantic comedy about 2 guys that it's sort of a love at first sight kind of thing, and all they're trying wait though, alright, so fine. So, but there's it's love at first sight for one of them. I don't want to give anything away, I'm trying not to give anything away, but there's a connection, and ultimately the gist is they're trying to find a place to, like, hook up.
Right, it's supposed to just be a trick.
It's a night,
that's
true, right. It's
a one-night hookup situation.
It's like I think Christian Campbell's character sees the go-go dancer, and he's like, Oh my God! So it's not love at first sight. It's probably just lust at first sight. Should be fair. But it's the whole gist is like they're just trying to go from place to place, trying anywhere to find a place to hook up.
Gosh.
And it's a romantic comedy, and it takes place in one night. Mm-hmm. It is back then. I was instantly connected because I never got to see lead gay characters like in leading roles, and it was such a moment that I kept dragging my friends back into Boston.
It was a great movie, and
I
mean, I'm not gay, but I truly loved this movie. And what's funny is I made people watch it too. And when we were talking about revisiting it, Matt's always like, "Oh, what are you going to be watching?" And I'm like, we're doing Trick." And he's like, "Trick?" He's like, "That sounds familiar." And I told him, I'm like, I honestly did not think that he had seen it with me, but I said, it's not the horror movie, because there's a horror movie called Trick that was the first thing that came up when I was searching for this one. And I said, "It's not the horror movie." He's like, "No." He's like, "Didn't it have, like, a trans person in it or something?" And I'm like, "Well, it's about, gay men." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I think you made me watch that." Yeah. and he's like, "Oh, Tori Spelling's in it." And I'm like, "Yeah." So it was really funny. I didn't even realize that I made him watch it. But I made like a ton of people watch it. I think I made Jen watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun movie to watch, and I just wanted to keep watching it.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
It is a super fun movie, and but it became increasingly difficult to find. Mm-hmm. I don't even think it's on Rotten Tomatoes. I think I searched on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think Tori Spelling, a blurb about Tori Spelling comes up, but the movie doesn't. It's kind of strange. But it is so worth digging up, so worth finding. Again, on iTunes, super easy. Yeah. It's worth the rental.
And Christian Campbell's, Nev Campbell's brother.
And do you know what happened once in New York? So, really quick,
No, you can tell me.
Okay, so basically, me, Carl, this is a million years ago. We were living in New York. Me, Carl, Nick, and Rudy, who you know. Yeah. We went to this place called the HQ Hotel. That's what it was called, HQ. And there's a swimming pool in the lobby. It was a swim-up bar. It was very cool, purple and pink lights everywhere.
I know.
Please. Well, Carl, it's free. You just go as long as you buy a drink, I guess. And there's people playing volleyball in the pool. And Carl, being European, was comfy enough to just jump in his underwear.
Sure.
And start splashing around, reckless abandon. The Americans were all like,
You're very on trick, really.
We're in our underwear. But I didn't do it. Rudy didn't do it. Nick did. And then what's funny is Carl's playing volleyball, and there's this guy next to him like, oh my God, like, how do I know that guy? He looks super familiar. And it was Christian Campbell.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So Carl and Christian Campbell were like on the same volleyball team, splashing around in the water together, and but this is of course before you could take a picture on your phone.
Yes.
And
so we have to just believe that this actually happened.
We can ask Carl.
It's strange.
Ask Carl. Ask Rudy. Ask
Do you know he's married to a woman?
Oh, I don't think he's gay. I don't think either of them are gay, actually.
Oh, I didn't
in real life. Yeah.
Sure. I just almost got his name.
It's like Jean-Luc Pitoc or something.
That's right, yes.
I think he was in a TV show called Boston Public.
He's been in quite a few things.
Yeah, Boston Public. I think he was in a show.
I looked it up quickly. I don't think I wrote anything down.
Yeah, I feel bad that he didn't do really that research.
He looks better now. I want to say, what's funny is when I first saw it, I honestly didn't think he was that great. I mean, obviously he has this awesome body, but truly, I'm like, I just thought he was average looking.
Now,
I think he's more attractive.
No. Meaning,
now
Christina,
when I'm
looking back, you think he's not as attractive as you remembered?
I think he's more attractive than when I remembered. What I'm saying is, when I first saw it, I didn't think he was all that.
Oh, I'm agreeing.
Oh.
I'm watching this now, and I was like, oh my God, I do not remember his body being that good. I don't know why. His body is amazing, even
gorgeous.
For 99.
Yeah.
I mean, because I feel like now it's like all over Instagram, like everyone's an influencer and they have these amazing bodies. But
right.
His body was amazing anyway, and I was like, wow, he's definitely cuter than I remember, and I don't even know why I didn't remember him cute.
I remember just not thinking he was cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just thinking, okay, it's kind of an odd choice.
Is it because we're older and, when older people are like, oh, you're so,
he's so handsome.
To everyone.
Exactly
to anyone under 25, they're so handsome.
But he's interesting looking, I think. And I think that's why they cast him, because he had that interesting he has an interesting face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not like your typical...
Well, he needs to be blank a lot.
Boy.
He needs to be blank a lot, because part of it is, like, you don't really know what he's thinking. And Christian Campbell's character is so constantly insecure about, oh my god, he's going to walk away. Oh my god, I'm going to lose him. Oh my god, he's going to be disinterested. And you need that kind of blank-faced sort of... Yeah, very blank-faced.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. But I thought he was, I don't know. But should we just dive? I think we're kind of already diving in.
We've already dove in. I don't even know how to speak anymore. It's been weird, like, not having conversations with people.
But I will say quickly, one thing I loved with this movie then and now is that it has nothing to do with being gay.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I meant to say that earlier.
That's my first note, and I remembered it then too. It's like, that's why I liked it so much.
It could absolutely be a straight person's story.
There's not a single moment of someone coming out. There's no emotional
There's
coming
no talking
out
about
moment.
That
There's no scene with the parents. Like, it is one night, everyone's a fully realized character, and they're just living their lives. And it's so good, and it makes it for a stronger movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I also really appreciated that there were all different types of gay people in the movie.
Yes.
You know? There's like, you know, the flamboyant, there's the slutty guy, there's the you know, the guy that looks straight or acts straight or whatever. Like, there's all different types of gay people in the movie, and I really appreciated that. I thought that was a great depiction of, like, real life.
Well, I loved, and I think that's, and we talked about it with Will and Grace, like, when it's like, you kind of need the Jack for the Will. Because I think a lot of people, like, they associate gay with being flamboyant and loud and crazy, and so I don't think people would have bought into Will if Jack wasn't on that couldn't relate. They wouldn't be like,
it's funny that you say that, because, what was the name? Oh, Perfect Endings? Happy Endings. There was a movie, I mean, not a movie, it was a show.
Happy Endings. Yeah.
And in it, I don't know the guy's name, but, you know, there's like six friends, kind of like a typical sort of a Friends thing. It's actually a good show. I really like the show. But one of the characters is a gay man, but he's not a flamboyant gay man. And I remember, like, Matt didn't love the show, not because of that, but because it was just a lot of fast talking, and you had to be right on, and he's just like, this is making me dizzy. Like, I don't think I want to, I can't keep up. But one of the comments he used to always say is, like, I don't buy that he's gay.
Interesting.
And I think that's your point about, like, the Will and Grace thing and the Jack. It is harder to buy into that, I think, for, I guess, a typical straight person, I guess. Yeah. But it's exactly...
Season 1, I mean, we'll get right back to Trick, but it's like season 1, Will is so, like, asexual that it's like watching any other show. But so you needed that gay energy, the flamboyant gay energy, to have it be the balance. And I think this movie's smart too, where it's like you have the go-go dancer and you have this buttoned-up kid who's, you know, button. I mean, and it's perfectly cast. And I think that you need that balance of. So no one can say, oh, that's so unrealistic. No one's like that. So you need that balance of characters. And your point is a really good one. I didn't think about that. There's so many different... is it Terry? Perry. Who's amazing. When I was thinking about this movie, watching it again, I was like, oh, was there anything I didn't like about it? And I did think Perry's scenes went on too long then.
Yes.
But now I didn't.
I have a couple notes on Perry, but I liked him much better now. That was really, like, one of my only negatives when I was thinking back as well, like, as like the Perry thing. And maybe it was because he was so over the top.
Yes.
You know,
talking a mile a minute, singing like
I didn't love that song. I did not love that song, but we'll get to that anyway. Or maybe we'll just talk about it now. Who knows? We shallow dive here, jumping all over the place. But I don't know what my point was, but I think that maybe even back then, like, you know, you have a different point of view when you're watching things, and I know I might have been a little bit more defensive of the gay culture back then, because you didn't see so much of it on TV and movies and things like that, and so I would get a little bit annoyed, like, if a stereotype would show up. So that might have been part of why I didn't like Perry as much, because I'd be like, what the fuck? You know, like, just
he comes on strong.
Not a great representation at first, but he ends up being a
great sort of device in this movie. He comes on very strong, this character of Perry, who is so essentially Christian Campbell's character whose name is...
Oh my god.
Oh my god, why don't I have
what
it?
The hell? I have Trixie's name. I have Mark's name.
There's Coco Peru, Mark, and... Oh, it's something... It's Mark, Perry...
Hell?
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. So, but his character
is... didn't actually have a name, right?
And what's funny is I remembered that... So there's a scene in the beginning where he's in this workshop, this Broadway songwriting workshop. And I remembered... I don't know why I remember that almost like more of like an audition or something, because his anxiety, this character is so high. I'm like, oh, it's really just a class. And he's workshopping stuff.
Yeah.
But he's so nervous about it. And I was like, oh, it's more endearing to me. I misremembered that. Mm-hmm. But Perry, when you meet Perry, who is this older gentleman in this class, he comes on real strong. And he's like, well, have you ever been in love? Have you ever wanted to sing in the street? And there's a payoff to all of those questions.
Of course. There's a reason why he's saying these things. But it came off, even this time around, I think, it came off very preachy.
Yes.
And I wrote that as one of my notes is that he came off preachy in the first conversation. He's like, you gotta grab life by the balls. And it's like, okay, simmer down.
Did that come back?
Did what?
I noticed something this time around. Do you remember Mark's keychain?
No.
It's a ball.
Shut
and
up.
I wonder, and I was like, oh, it's more like grab life by the balls. It's like take a chance, grab life by the balls. And
my god, I didn't even get that.
So at one pivotal point, Mark is leaving somewhere, and this other... I think I have to Google it. I mean, how can we keep saying Christian Campbell? Christian Campbell's character
I'll Google it right
is like, it's kind of on the fence about sort of going after him to catch him, and he ends up that he lost his keys, and the keychain is a ball, and he grabs the ball and goes for it. And I was like, it's a bit of a stretch, but I think it does tie into to Perry. And Perry has another question that pays off at the end, too, which I don't want to give too much away of this movie.
Well, I don't
know. I mean, I wouldn't... I mean, I guess it's kind of... It's all very, like, happy. It's a feel-good movie, I think. Gabriel! Blow, Gabriel, blow. As Coco Peru says.
Gabe.
And Coco Peru, jumping all around, is so good.
She's so good, too, but I remember it's so funny. Like, I forgot a lot about this movie. Yeah. I remembered I loved it. I remembered the song. Mm-hmm. And I remembered I really loved it, but it was like I forgot a lot about it. And then Coco Peru showed up, and I got that, like, sick feeling, and I'm like, oh, I think she's a bad girl in this. And I'm like, oh, she does something bad. And I was like, it was so funny. I forgot what she had done, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's right, she has that story. But she's so good.
She's so good, and honestly...
that whole scene, oh my god, that scene when he finally starts loosening up, and they're dancing together, and I feel like that is like that pivotal moment when it's okay, this is not like a hookup anymore. He's comfortable. They like each other. You can see that there's something more now, and he's like he actually takes his shirt off, like Gabe, like he didn't want to take his shirt off because he's like kind of uptight or whatever. And of course, Mark, they go into this club anyway. At this point, they go into a club, and it's a gay club, and everybody's having fun and dancing, and he's like, take off your shirt. He's like, no. And then they start dancing, and it's like, oh my god, it's like such a great moment.
100%. Christina, that scene is long. The song is a dance remix of I Am Woman.
It's such a good song.
And you're like, what is that? And I honestly was like, I forgot that was the song they were dancing to. And then... But I really forgot how long that dance sequence is.
It's almost the whole song.
It is really long. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, but they're really connecting.
But that's exactly
Mark
right.
starts to look at Gabriel differently. Not just because his shirt's off, but because he's loosening up. And he's actually having fun. And you get the sense that Gabriel is really not this kind of person to do this. But Mark's bringing something out in him. Mark's really something about Gabriel. And it's this you're exactly right. This moment of like them... it wouldn't be a show unless I said Christina was right about something. But it is so really nicely done. Yeah. And then Coco Peru
just makes you feel so good.
Yeah. And then Coco Peru comes barrel-assing through the crowd.
She's lip-syncing the song.
And that scene, but then there's a scene in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which is...
That's a long scene, too.
It's amazing. I loved it. Did you like that scene or no?
Yeah, I did. I really liked it. And of course, I'm not, it made me feel sad.
Yeah, right.
But it was a great scene between the two of them. And
yeah.
he's trying to go to the bathroom and he can't. Because and she's telling him this big story. And she's such a good storyteller.
Yes.
And then he finally pees. And she's like, good boy.
Yeah. And I will say something else. And it's a random little note. There are shots of Coco Peru where she is leaning right into the camera and there's a stark light on her face. Mm-hmm. And I don't know too many drag queens, actors or actresses that would allow certain shots of their face.
Sure.
Because it is a bit chilling and a bit scary
I mean, nobody.
It's revealing. It's
drag
very revealing.
Not. You don't really want to be that close anyway.
And I think I was really loved her for that in that whole scene. She is, without missing a beat, that scene is chilling. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's dramatic. It changes the story.
It changes the whole story altogether. And it made me so anxious too with everybody knocking on the door. I'm like, oh my god, just open the fucking door! Yeah. It made me so anxious that she's just taking her time telling the story. And people are knocking on the door to try to get in. Oh my god, it was good. It was a great scene.
Yeah, it was really
and it was good. Like, kind of woke up the night too.
Yeah,
because up until then, it was a lot of just dialogue. It was a lot of just like walking around, and
it also underlines something, an insecurity that Gabriel had, because when there's a scene earlier where they're on the sidewalk and this guy walks by and bumps into Mark and he kind of gives him this look, and Mark's almost like contemplating this look.
Well, right. He would have totally.
Because he's like, what am I doing? He's like, I can't make out with this, couldn't hook up with this guy.
He just wants to hook up.
He just wants to hook up at that point in the story.
Yeah.
And so Gabriel's insecurity is already on high alert, but in the dance he mellows out and he's like, this could actually be something, and then he steps right into the bathroom and he's like, nope, I was right. Like Coco Peru, that scene reconfirms Gabriel's insecurity, and then he truly just changes.
And then he comes out and
the
other guy, what was his name? I have it written down. Dino was like all over Mark.
Very good acting, because he was a very convincing drunk.
Oh my god,
so messy,
just the most obnoxious drunk ever. Yeah. Gross, and you know a million of these people.
Yes.
Like, you know that drunk that is just gross and thinks he's cute and thinks he's being sexy, but he's really just like slobbery. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I liked him, actually. He was a good character.
We jumped around a lot. I do want to backtrack a little bit, because there's some things, when Gabriel's watching Mark dance on the bar in one of the early scenes, that older guy, first of all, there's three different guys that are in that stool at different parts of the night. The older guy is so gross. And the older guy just looks at him, he's like, yeah, cute as shit. Yeah. I laughed my ass off. I've had that moment at a bar where you're like, just do, and then you feel someone staring,
don't want to make eye
you
contact.
don't want to turn.
It's been a while, but
and then you know, right? Exactly, yes, for sure. And the second you turn, you know it's not going to be a kind word, and it's like, oh god.
I liked the other guy. I don't even when he was like, hey, like the first guy.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, what's funny about him, he's a lot sleazier now than I remembered him from before, because he's really was more my type of guy.
Interesting.
Like, I remember thinking he's really hot.
Oh, really? Yeah. Interesting.
And I still thought he was attractive.
And the middle guy, sort of like the middle-aged jockey guy, who basically, he sort of teaches Mark how to dance. In his seat, remember, he's like raising his arms up. He's like, dude, you just have to feel the music. And I think that comes back in that dance sequence. Yeah. I actually think Gabriel pulls from that conversation, just sort of bullshitting his way through this dance until it becomes like
and then
real.
He actually relaxes a little bit. And
so good.
And Tori Spelling, we can talk about Tori Spelling.
Really quick.
Go ahead.
Only because I want to get off of this page of notes.
I know, we are all over the place.
I know we are. It's okay.
So
it's
sorry,
okay
guys.
though. It's okay. We're excited. We're excited.
It is a good. Yeah.
So, did you notice who is sitting next to Perry in the Broadway class?
Yes.
Oh. Kate Flannery.
Kate Flannery
from
The Office.
Wasn't that wild?
I noticed it right away, and I'm like, was that Kate?
Yeah.
I didn't know her last name. Was that Kate? And I looked it up.
Cute.
But isn't that so cute? Yeah. She didn't have a line or anything, right? She just...
No, she
did
not.
she?
No. She didn't. I don't think.
But that's great. I love the song and that performance. I've made people watch that performance of Tori Spelling's...
Enter You?
Yeah. And then poor Matt, he's like... Just like... for a week and a half after. It's like, damn it, I still have that song stuck in my head.
It's
a catchy little number.
It is a catchy little number, and it's not on Spotify. I tried to find the soundtrack on Spotify. It's not on there. This movie is hidden, and it's worth it. I'm actually really glad we're doing this episode.
Me too.
Maybe if we can get one person to see this movie.
Yeah, and honestly, straight or gay, it's a great,
it's good,
fun movie.
There's actually
and it's rated R, but I don't think. I mean, it's just probably because of there's one boob that's shown.
Is it one or two boobs?
Well, maybe they both.
It's a set of boobs.
But it's honestly, it's a stupid scene. Like, it's not a there's no real
it's not a sexual
thing.
Right.
There's no. I mean, there's the song that Perry sings, but there's a couple
Tori
of language.
And Tori Spelling drops the F-bomb, which is hilarious.
That was hilarious.
She's going back to you and Tori Spelling. She is amazing.
She's so good. So before I saw this movie, I did not like Tori Spelling at all. I just didn't like her. I only knew her from 90210. I thought she was obnoxious. I never liked her character in 90210. I didn't like anything about her. And when I watched this movie, I'm like, it changed my entire opinion of her. And it just made her, like, because she's obviously a character that, I mean, she really had to go outside of herself to play this character because she's got a lot of flaws. She's, how do you even describe her? She's a little over the top, but insecure. She's almost like, I think she played it really, really well. She's like one of these girls who wants to be an actress and a singer and a dancer, and she's like probably just got to New York, and she's full of hope, and she's in everything, and she's in your all over Gabe.
Yeah. Well, I think there's also part of her personality where she talks a lot, and I think it's because she doesn't want to hear rejection or reality. She likes living, to your point, she likes living in this world, this character, where it is up, up, up in success, and as long as she's putting herself out there, it's all going to click, and she's going to get that role, she's going to get that part, and people are going to love taking her headshot from her, and it's really not the reality, but I think she just keeps talking and talking and talking, so she just keeps going.
She
and I think that feels very true. We both know, in the past, some theater kids theater folks that have to be that way, that just have driven, and they're not going to look back. They're just going to keep going and going. And I think that what I think Christian represented was this. Gabriel represented was this touchstone for her.
Yeah.
It's like he was the writer, she was the singer. And she didn't want to lose that. And I think that however she could keep him connected.
Right, and she obviously had feelings for him.
Yeah.
And, of course, she let it slip that they dated once or something. Yeah. And her mom still calls you my boyfriend.
I know. She's like,
it's
funny?
very, it's sad.
It's sad.
It is sad in that way.
But she never lets him speak about that. Anytime he... or even gets out that it was it was one date or whatever, and she's like, it was more than one date. And she's like, has that nervous giggle.
Yes.
And really quick, the singing, every time when I wrote it down, she was like, enter you. Voila,
it's showtime. Yeah, oh my God, so dramatic.
Very theater. Very
oh my gosh.
Pronunciation. Very pronounced.
Watch it just for that scene.
God, she's so good in this, you guys.
She's so good.
Really quick, did you watch the new 90210 that was on last August?
It did not.
So I did.
Is she kind of like
it's
that
very
character?
comedy. It's really more so.
I know. I was kind of sad that I missed it.
So it's short. It's only 6 episodes. It didn't go renewed. But Carl and I really loved it. She holds the show together. I think she is a comedian. I think she should do more comedy. She is so funny, and I really like that 90210 thing. It was very different. It's very they're playing, the actors are playing themselves, these heightened versions of themselves.
Right.
I thought it was really well done. I think it was one of those either you love it or hate it. But there was drama, there was comedy. It was an interesting show.
Yeah.
I liked it. But anyway, another recommendation. I love when Tori, oh my God, what's her name? You said it. What the hell's her name? I feel like you've already said it 3 times.
I called her. I've been calling her Tori.
Oh, okay. Well, she is yelling at Trixie.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Because she's always, like you say, she's always trying to be positive and fun and happy, whatever, trying to hide that, like, misery or whatever, if she has it. Yeah. And, so Trixie's like barking. Trixie. She's trying to make it seem like she's, like, friends with
control,
Trixie. And Trixie is, like, this little yappy dog. And she's going. She's like, Trixie! Like, just, like, freaks out. And it's, like, so funny.
And right after that.
So funny.
And right after when Mark says, "Oh no, let Gabriel sing alone," and her face, that is worth a $3.99.
Oh my god!
I'm pushing this. Rent funny. This on iTunes.
It's so good. That face. She pouts. She actually has like a childlike pout on her face because she always sings Gabe's songs. That's right. And so they're in his apartment, and they can't hook up because Tori Spelling's character is there. And since they're there, they're just sort of whatever, and they start chatting, which they probably wouldn't have been able to do if they would just hook it up. Mm-hmm. And the piano's there, and whatever. They start talking about it, and he starts playing, and she's automatically going to be singing. And so Mark says, "Oh, let him sing." And she's devastated. Like, she's like, hurt? Like, what? Like, completely hurt. But that was, like, a really sweet moment. The whole thing was really sweet.
It was. And we'll fast forward, just talking about Tori, there's the meltdown she has in a diner. And we won't even say what it's about. But she nails it. It is the biggest laugh in the movie. Or one of the biggest laughs in the movie. And it's still so funny.
It's still so funny, but I love how she is able to just convey all of these different emotions in this whole movie. Like, she goes from up to down. She's so manic. Like, she should really have some sort of meds, I think.
Probably, yeah.
But like that scene, she's, oh my god, it's just like, it all wraps up into one huge F-bomb.
Right. The gist is,
and then she jumps back when she says it. She's like, oh. Like, she's so surprised that she even did it. She's like, oh my god, and she like runs out, and it's like, oh my god, it's just such a scene. It's such a scene.
And she's hanging out with her theater friends, and one of them is a lesbian.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like my dad. It's like, and someone says, well, maybe you have such an issue with it because you might, with gayness, because you're a lesbian or whatever. And she's like, that's like my dad saying that, like, why don't you move to New Jersey? And it's like, I don't want to move to New Jersey, and I'm not a lesbian. But like the way she connects her dad saying, don't you want to live in New Jersey? Isn't it so much easier? And someone else saying, wouldn't you just want to be a lesbian?
Right.
And the way she connects the two in this meltdown is just a really perfect moment.
Oh my god, it really is. It's such a good moment.
I loved all the monologues. In fact, like, I think this movie does a good job in the writing with giving almost every single character like a moment, and it doesn't feel forced. Mm-hmm. Perry has his moment about his relationship. Yep. You have Tori Spelling having her moment. Mm-hmm. You have Coco Peru having their moment. Yes. Like, everyone has. You have Gabriel's roommate's girlfriend who's back from France. Mm-hmm. Judy is her name. The character's name.
Yes, there's the boobs that you see.
The boobs, yeah. And she even has
a moment.
And
she was annoying, though.
Oh, really? I
don't know. Her. She's kind of fascinating to watch. But, I don't know. She kind of needed to be there because she... I don't know. She asked Mark questions. Right. She's the one that drew a lot of stuff out of Mark because he didn't really talk much.
Yeah.
So she kind of needed to be there, but she was a little bit too dumb for me. There was something about her baby voice. She was just a little too dumb for me. It was just a little too much for me. She needed to be just a tad smarter.
Well, I didn't find her dumb, but the voice is I think it's pretty divisive because it is a baby voice, and I have my own issues with baby voices. Mm-hmm. But I liked her character. I think it was just an interesting character to throw into the last part of the movie.
It's kind of fascinating character to... Well, like, I was fascinated by her character, but still annoyed by... for me, it seemed very dumb. And I liked how she ended up, after all that, she's like, oh, his keys.
Yeah.
And that was a good moment. Like, what I really liked about this movie, I loved this movie, obviously, if anybody can't tell. Loved it then, loved it now. I think I feel the same about it too. Like, I don't think I love it any more or less. Like, I just really loved it then, and I really loved it now.
Yeah. I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Completely. It's the same for me. The love is the same. And it's been years and years and years since I've seen it.
Yeah. But what's great about it, and what I think is really impressive is, like you said, it's almost in real time.
Yeah.
You know, the way that they do it. I mean, it maybe is... Well, there's a little bit of a skip there, but not much. And that could be very boring. In just trying to, let's find a place here. That's not working. Let's go here. And I think they did a really, really nice job of putting in different locations and where they put them. The apartment, the club where Perry was at, the restaurant, the club where they danced, all of it. And I liked the progression of... I like where they put it. It just made it much more interesting, as opposed to just seeing these guys walking down the street and talking. And I liked that Mark didn't talk that much until whatever. I keep wanting to call her Trixie. Trixie's the name of the dog. Judy. Yeah. Until she starts asking them questions and things, and then though obviously there's like that big.
Sorry, Mark or Gabriel? Mark. Okay, yeah.
Because Gabriel talked.
Oh, yeah,
enough.
He did. Yeah.
Like he's kind of an open book. Like from the beginning, there's no secrets about him.
True.
But with Mark, it was like you didn't really know much about him at all. But anyway, I just really liked how they did it. It could have been a boring movie.
It's 80. I think it's 89 minutes, right? It's like 91 minutes or something like that. And it's. There's something I was going to say about that, and I forget. No, it doesn't matter. It just escaped me. Maybe I'll think about it on our break. I know. There's something, though.
Do you feel like you're at a spot where you want to take a break?
I think so. I think that's like most of my notes. I want to do a quick check, but I think we might be ready for a break.
Okay, yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back. We'll talk a little bit more and talk about the ending.
Cool.
Okay, we'll be right back. Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show.
And
we're back! Talking about Trick 1999, available on iTunes for rent or purchase. And you said...
I watched it on
Vudu. Check it out. As you can tell,
so
we love it. It's worth it. It's Pride Month. And yes. So really quick, John Paul Pittock is the actor who plays Mark. Christian Campbell plays Gabriel. Coco Peru is Coco Peru. Tori Spelling plays Catherine. Catherine.
Oh my gosh.
Judy is played by Lori Bagley. And Perry is played by Steve Hayes. Great cast. Really well cast.
Really great characters. And it's not that long. It's 90 minutes.
It is. It's really worth 90 minutes. So, I dare even ask, is there anything you did maybe weren't crazy about this time around?
There wasn't much that I was not crazy about. And I think it's basically the same stuff that I had from before anyway. There was a moment at the beginning, and I wrote it down, but I can't picture when it was. But there's a moment at the very beginning with Catherine and Gabe when she kisses him. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this at all? And he's just like, what? Like, she kisses him. I think it's part of... Oh, I know what it was. It was during the workshop, and there was some lines to be read. Okay. And I think part of the lines were she was supposed to kiss him. And so she does. And you can tell he was surprised by that. Mm-hmm. You could also tell that she did it because she wanted to kiss him. And that's... You could tell, like, from that very second that she was into him. Yeah. And I didn't think it was necessary for them to do that to her, to that character. Yeah, I think that the rest of the movie made it quite clear. Just all of that made it very clear without having to do that kiss.
Yeah. I think I do remember the part you're talking about. Yeah. Is it outside the door? No.
No, it's right before the song. They had a lead up.
Oh yes,
yes. Writing, the saying the lines or whatever, and so she took advantage of that. And I just didn't think that it was necessary. I also thought that, like we talked about this before, Perry was a little bit preachy, so he could have been, probably could have had a couple of lines that were a little bit, maybe got rid of about 2 lines because it was very cliche-ish.
That's right. That's exactly my critique. The only thing that was like, this is a movie, like a little too movie-ish for me, was Perry comes on real strong in that conversation by the staircase when he's really putting like Gabriel through the paces of well, come on, how do you feel? How do you feel? And it's like, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, go away.
Like he's unlikable.
Yeah, it's it's almost like disregarding human personal space. It felt a little too much, even for a character like Perry.
Yes, like he could have toned it down a little bit and taken away maybe 2 of the cliches that he says.
Yes,
and it would have been a perfect scene, and I would have liked him a little bit better.
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't like, I think I mentioned it already before, was the song that he sang, Perry. It's me gusta de pinga. Or pinga? It's like how do you like my cock? But So it's the song. The setup is I had a song I wanted to sing. It was called How do you like my cock? But then you can't say that, so he sings it in Spanish, and the whole song is about how you can say it in Spanish because it sounds much nicer or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just didn't enjoy that song this time around. I don't really loved it. I don't think I really loved it.
I think it was, to me, so much of the movie was like, them walking on the sidewalk or in the subway or trying to be in this like tiny little apartment with, they don't even have a bedroom. There's like, they share the living room. Gabriel and his roommate, and so it's like I appreciated sort of like the openness and like the levity, the lightness. It was just like a little. It was almost like an interlude, really.
Yes, I agree. I understand why it was there. Maybe it's just his performance of it or something. There was just something I just didn't really love about it.
I can see that.
Yeah. Obviously it's like a funny song. I don't know. It was just a little bit too much for me. What else? Oh, I do want to say. That was pretty much all I have for things I did not like.
Okay.
But I will say one thing I want to say. In the club, they were yelling at each other to talk.
Yes.
It's another one of your little, notes that you usually have. So another good direction note.
Yeah, Jim Fall is the director. I believe he's the writer as well. I'm sorry if that's not true. I believe it's Jim Fall.
We have lots of facts there.
Oh my God. I don't know why I didn't do more
It's fine.
research.
People don't really care that much.
They don't?
I don't know.
Right.
Do you guys care who wrote this thing?
No,
I think they care about our opinion of these things. But
listen, director is Jim Fall. The budget was $450,000. That seems high for this movie, but it made $2 million. So it was, for an indie, it made its money back. So that's always nice.
Yeah.
Released January 27th, 1999.
There it is.
And then it seemed.
And this is
that's not true. I'm sorry. July 1999.
And this is the most recent revisit we did, isn't it? 1999?
American Beauty.
Was that also 99?
Yes.
Okay, I thought. I knew it was late 90s. I wasn't sure exactly when.
Yeah, this is the latest we've ever...
and I will say, I have a note here, I forgot to even mention this, when we talk about the clubbing scene. Watching that clubbing scene made me miss clubbing with
you.
Going to, like, Club Cafe.
Yeah. It will Ramrod... Machine. Machine. And then Ramrod was upstairs, and we would like walk through there as a joke.
It was that was like freaking something going up there. And it wasn't like we didn't stand out either walking up there because everyone in Ramrod is like head to toe covered in leather, and we come up there with like my pink shirt and jeans. Hi.
Oh my God!
But I missed. It made me miss clubbing with you so much.
We went a lot. Right?
We used to go there all the time.
And what was the name of the
Club
Sunday
Cafe.
night? Well, Club Cafe was the restaurant with the room in the back.
Yeah, and I liked that place a lot. Machine, we used to go to a lot, and we used to go to the Randolph Country Club every once in a while, which wasn't my favorite place, but it was still fun.
It's just close. It was so close.
It was just close.
And then, then Sundays was that place. Was it Access? What was it called? It was they called it something different on Sunday
nights. But it was gay on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the other thing, folks. Like, back then, you had to, like, wait for Sunday. Yeah. Like, there weren't necessarily, like, gay dance clubs to go to in Boston. I mean, you have to wait for Sunday, or maybe there was a gay night Thursday or whatever. But it was a different time.
It's totally different time. And it used to make me laugh how many times... Like, I used to get hit on more in a gay club by straight men than I would ever get hit on in a straight club. Because it was always like the bartenders and things like that. I used to love it.
Well, that's true. A lot of the go-go... Sometimes go-go... And this brings me to my question, actually. Sometimes the go-go dancers and the bartenders were straight guys. Yeah. And
it was great. And everybody was so fun. It was such a fun place to be. Everyone was so respectful. Well, I mean, I don't know about for you, but to me, everybody was always very respectful for me. If I had to go to the bathroom, everybody was like, "Oh, let her in. It's a girl. Like, let her in." It was like so not like everybody was so
very
nice
welcoming.
to me,
and also just relaxed. I remember one time I used to go with Chris Madden a lot to go clubbing, and there was one time where we went. I think you were with me, and it was actually like weirdly cold out, and I'm like, let me just throw on this like shitty like long sleeve shirt. It was my gray Gap shirt. It just said Gap on it, and I threw it on. And I was like, oh, this is so not like a clubbing shirt, but like whatever. And I truly remember maybe too much information, but I ended up like there's a go-go dancer, and I kissed him. Like do you remember this? No. He had the tattoos.
I mean, you'll have to be specific. This is like
20-something years ago. But I was like, I felt like I looked like crap. Like I had like a fitted tee under it. Yeah. But I was just like, why am I wearing this shirt? And but like I kind of. Well, I didn't kind of, but it doesn't matter. But I was like, all that to say, sometimes it's not about like looking, in the fitted clothes and all this kind of stuff. It was just a welcoming. It
was a very welcoming atmosphere.
Like relaxed,
you were probably
fun.
more approachable.
Yeah.
In that, you weren't, whatever. And you probably stood out a little bit more.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's true. Should we do...
We can do questions, but I do want to just say one more thing about the ending. I really, really loved the ending so much. I loved that it was light out now. Like, at the end of this movie, they've spent the whole night trying to hook up, and now it's morning.
Yeah.
And it's light, and you just see them in the light of day, and they're just so comfortable with each other, and they're holding hands, and they're just so sweet.
Are you going to ruin this movie right now? Are you
I'm not going to. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. But I really liked that I love the ending.
Yeah.
It was a great ending, and I just liked that it was morning.
Yes.
At the end of the movie.
Well, it's like the gay before sunrise. Remember that Ethan Hawke?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love that movie too.
And I didn't think about that then. I don't even know what the years are, but like, but it does have that feeling to it. It's a little adventure.
Yeah,
it's super cute. Adventure.
So yes, great movie. Definitely recommend. All right, let's get to the questions. I have an FMK, and you have a regular question.
I do. Which should we do first? Should we do mine or yours?
Doesn't matter.
All right, we'll do mine.
Okay.
So only because we were talking about the go-go dancers and all that, and as like I said, like were those moments where you would just sort of hook up with the go-go dancer or whatever and all that. Mark is a go-go dancer. Christina, the question for you is: what do you think would be the most challenging part of dating a go-go dancer?
Ooh, do you have a multiple choice?
I'm giving you multiple choice.
Okay. Did you just say that 2 seconds ago?
No.
Oh, okay. Did I just not listen to what he just said?
His hours.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of intentional and wanted leering of the customers, because that's the job, or the trust.
Ooh. Interesting. I would actually say it's something different.
Oh, okay.
But if I'm choosing from those three, and then I'll tell you what mine is. Sorry, I should have it. What was the first one?
His hours, yeah. His hours, his job, the actual job
just the job itself.
Or the trust.
Well, honestly,
and trust, I guess, is any relationship, right?
Any relationship, and if, going in that he's a go-go dancer, you have to trust him.
Yeah.
Or just say, I'm not going to trust him, and just be in this open relationship.
True, yeah.
So it wouldn't be that, but I would say probably the hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like he wouldn't be up to going out with me if he's out all night with everybody else. And like if I wanted to see him, I would have to go to the sleazy club, which I don't think I would want to see that.
You're not going to go every night. He's like dancing. It's like you're not going to want people want to watch people putting dollars in his underwear.
Right.
I mean, like, you know.
So do you want to know what my other question?
Yeah.
My other
What's your other answer?
It would have been telling my friends what my boyfriend does for a living and kind of justifying that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of...
Would you have said, like, oh, he works at a bar?
Right, probably. Probably.
Or he's a dancer.
But, like, imagine telling, like, your parents, like, what was he doing for work?
I work in a bar.
He's a stripper, basically.
Yeah.
So, I think that would be probably the hardest part.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I actually... So, remember, I won't say his name, but for a few weeks... Mm-hmm. Fateful weeks.
I remember.
I did actually date...
And what was the hardest part for that, for you?
Well, he had... I mean, I think he was very controlling, and he
I don't mean...
What?
I don't mean like
the relationship. No, well,
I mean in terms of dating a go-go.
Oh, well, my point was this: is that like so because he would have to.
You don't have to delve into
no.
Terrible
because what I mean by controlling is he would have, like his hour. It was really his hours.
Yeah.
Because he had to sleep at a certain time, be awake at a certain time, and it was really. What I mean by controlling is that it was always about him and his schedule, even though I was working more hours than him.
Yeah.
But also, it was like he had to drink his muscle shakes, and he couldn't eat certain things, and so it was also it was a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think I agree. I think it was actually the hours.
Did you ever feel like intimidated because he was like, not that you're in bad shape, but like you were all skinnier back then.
I was skinny back then, but I didn't.
I would feel like, I mean, it would be different because obviously it's like the opposite sex. I don't know how that kind of comes into play, like comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that would be something.
I never felt, I didn't feel insecure.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't feel insecure with like him having like a better body or whatever. It also seemed like a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good.
Believe me, Brian.
He never asked to go to the gym together. I mean, so it was like, for me, it was like, listen, I'm fine on the elliptical. Give me the elliptical and some free weights. I'm fine. But I never felt that. Isn't that funny?
Good.
But
That's funny.
But okay, let's hear your question.
So it's an FMK, and the three choices are. You may not like these choices. I have to throw you a good one every once in a while.
Christina?
Whatever. It's what it is.
Right.
Sometimes I'm nice and sometimes I'm not. Okay, so Perry.
Okay.
Dino.
Okay. Coco Peru. No, don't.
No, I'm not going to do Coco. No. Rich.
The roommate?
His roommate.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, Perry, Dino, and Rich. Oh my god. This is way tougher
it's
than
really
I thought.
hard.
This is a tough one. I actually thought his roommate was cute, but sleazy.
So sleazy.
I think... Oh god, I think I would probably marry Perry. Mm-hmm. I think he's a nice guy. And, like, he's funny and he's a singer. Like, I mean, I don't know.
He's probably a good husband.
I think he's probably a very good husband.
Yeah.
And he seems like a nice enough guy. And he seems supportive no matter what.
Seems successful.
Yeah, and everyone likes him.
Everyone likes him.
I'm marrying
Perry.
Marrying Perry. And then, I gotta say, I think I would kill Dino and F the roommate, Rich.
Interesting.
Yeah, Rich is more my type than Dino.
True, but they're very similar.
They're similar, but I didn't think Dino was cute.
I thought he was cute. I did think he was cute, but I also thought he was gross.
Gross, yeah.
And Rich, I thought he was kind of he looks like somebody. He looks like an actor.
Oh my god, Christina. And I Googled him. I paused it and I was like, "Oh, it's
somebody."
His face?" And it's not.
It's not. I don't know who it is.
Who does he look like?
He looks just like somebody.
So wild, yeah.
But he's attractive, but he's an asshole. So,
yeah.
But I think you're right. I think that at least, I don't know.
I love how much thought we're putting into this. This
like
21-year-old movie is totally a realistic
happen.
possibility.
I know. Well, we take these questions serious. But I think you're right. I think I would have to kill Dino because I feel like he's like
just gross.
Kind of druggy,
he's talking to Mark, and this actually bothered me. I wonder if that was in the script. He bites Mark's.
Oh my God! Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Hits him. Mark
so maybe
him in the
I
face.
would have him.
I don't.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good answer.
This was such a moment.
So much fun.
Happy
I'm so glad
Pride,
we did
everyone.
This. Happy Pride.
Spread love and support to all. It's all about equality. Love one another. Sisters and brothers.
Sisters and brothers.
Yeah. So share. Love one another. Yeah. But Happy Pride, and go watch and rent and love Trick.
Yep.
And thank you, Jim Fall, if you're listening, for such a great, fun, romantic comedy.
So I guess that's it for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there. And if you have an idea for the show, a suggestion, comment, email us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
Thanks again for listening. Till next time.